We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome back to These Unprecedented Gays, your go-to podcast for all things queer, where we unpack the nuances of LGBTQ plus life in these unprecedented times. Are flailing, trying to keep us from falling over the side. That's what
dipping,
we're at right
What
now.
is it? We're dipping our toe in the water.
We're dipping the toe in the waters of World War III.
Stop it. No. I don't want to dip my toe in that water.
Girl, we are fully foot in.
I thought we avoided it.
No.
Or no.
No.
Okay, maybe I'm out of the loop.
It is proletarian, authoritarian chaos out there right now with everything happening. But before we get into that, I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
Okay, well, I need to know what this... I know that we were on the brink of World War III, but I feel like you have more of a touch of, like, what's happening.
So...
are we at war with another person now?
No. It's not that we're at war, but, like, the U.S. is crazy right now because, like, there's a lot of universities that are having student protests.
Isn't that right? And they're, like, shutting down the colleges.
Right. There's encampments on university, like Columbia, UCLA... students are doing encampments and doing sit-ins and stay-ins where they're protesting the genocide of Gaza by Israel.
Yep.
And
they are canceling, what is it called? Graduation ceremonies.
Correct.
Because of safety. And I'm like, girl.
Well, it's funny because Columbia University has banned reporters from being on property during this time.
It's private though, right?
Right. But in a world of
social media,
that it doesn't matter if you have
girl, you're your own
there or
reporter.
not. Yeah, exactly. So,
where is Columbia?
New York.
I don't think I've ever seen Columbia. New York City.
New York City.
That's
That's if people remember that old salsa commercial, the El Paso commercial, where like they were there's a bunch of cowboys sitting around a campfire and they were eating salsa, and it was old El Paso, and then somebody pulled out another one, and they were like, "Where's that from?" And they're like, "New York City."
What?
Yeah, you
Wait,
never seen those?
Wait, what is it? El Paso?
Yeah, old
Did
El
they still
Paso.
make that?
Yeah.
I'm a Pace Picante girl.
I think it was Pace that they were making fun of.
Like a chunky Pace. It's nostalgia.
That's my drag name, Chunky Pace. Oh my god, I thought of the best drag name last night. What was it, Andy? It was my last name is Back, first name Archer.
Oh my god, stop it.
Archer Back.
Yes. I like Archer. Archer Back.
So anyway.
I like Chunky Pace better.
So
Columbia.
So they have banned reporters from being on their property, and in like a week, they're supposed to give away one of the highest awards you can get in journalism.
At Columbia?
Yeah,
to who?
I don't know, but like that just seems very ironic that you would keep reporters from coming there, but you also hand out one of the most coveted awards in journalism
to regular
anyone.
Journalists?
Yeah, to whoever
not
wins
to
it.
the college kids.
No,
interesting.
Yeah. So,
okay,
but there's videos circulating now about what happened in UCLA's encampment the other night. About 100 people attacked the encampment. So while police stood around and did nothing.
No.
Even though they've brought in police, they've threatened to bring a National Guard to get these students out of the encampments.
Even though they're like peacefully protesting.
Exactly.
I mean, they're intense, but like,
and I get it. Everybody is very like, if you know about this situation and you have knowledge of it and you have an opinion, it's very close to your heart about it.
Yeah.
And it's very volatile.
Yes.
For some people.
Yeah.
And I get it. But sometimes people don't understand that you can hold two truths in your heart at one time.
That's a very valid point.
And it's just like, to me, that's the hardest thing right now is like nobody is saying that Israel is, I mean, people are saying Israel is wrong for attacking Palestine, but that doesn't mean that we hate Israel. That doesn't mean anything. It's just we want
peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
So
I think that two truths in your heart or whatever it's called is something that a lot of people are not allowing to happen.
Right.
And I think that's, I don't know, it's part of the whatever, like brushing up or whatever against the thing.
Right. So it's just very like disheartening and stuff and hard to watch.
Did they have anything in here in San Diego? Any of the
I haven't seen anything here in San Diego yet. But doesn't mean it's not going to happen because this whole thing is starting to grow even more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's interesting and it's something to keep a watch on, but it's just like, and you know, it just makes it seem even more like we're just heading in the wrong direction.
Oh, 100%. I mean, our former president is on trial.
Right.
And, well, I saw yesterday that there was like some special election in New York for Congress, and a Democrat won. So now there's only one seat majority for Republicans in the House of Representatives. They lost 22 seats.
Wow.
Over the past term. Is it 4 years or 2 years?
Yeah.
2 years. I'm like, girl.
So MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is planning on when they come back from recess, I guess, she's going to go ahead and move forward with her motion to oust Speaker Mike Johnson.
Oh, Lord.
And it's already kind of like an unspoken thing that if that happens, the Democrats will basically save him.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't want to have to go through it again.
No, our government won't function.
Well, and I'm like, you know what? People are like, this is ridiculous. She shouldn't do that. But I was like, you know what? Go ahead and do it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Eat your own. Go ahead.
Right. Exactly. Because you know what? Your own party hates you as it is, and they're going to hate you even more for doing this.
Well, and I feel like if we, as the Democrats, save Speaker Mike Johnson, then we have more... like, we could ask for more. Be like, we'll save you if you give us... Well, I don't know what that's called.
It doesn't
like,
even have to be a quid pro quo.
Right.
Come on, Latin mama.
Omnibus, I missed the bus. When's the next bus?
That is E pluribus unum, right? That's the only Latin I know. I know Greek, like alpha and beta.
I know Pig Latin.
I'm like, how do you say no way? One, a way. I think, right? One.
No way.
A way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's going to
Yeah,
vote him out.
she's pronounced that she's going to do this when she gets back from recess.
I'm done with her.
I know. There's just like a lot going. I'm done with her. I'm done with like the Republicans. I'm done with the Democrats. I'm like, we just need like a third party, like two-party system just doesn't work anymore.
We just need like a refresh. Maybe let's spring clean Congress.
How about like we just don't have a president for a little bit, and like I think we should be on our own for a bit. We need to like
working on ourselves.
Exactly.
We're gonna take some time away from this and work on yourselves.
Okay, Sons of Anarchy.
I don't think that would go over well. And I haven't watched Dedicated Survivor in a while, but like now that I know the inner workings of the government because of that show, I feel like that might be not the best idea.
Okay, I guess.
But let it happen. Why not?
Why not? Like, and and have you heard? Like, we're gonna get into our weeks, but like, I have a lot of like stuff that I was like been seeing, and I really wanted to talk about it. Have you seen this like thing on TikTok where women are like, they ask the question, would you rather be alone in the woods with a man or with a bear? And
do they pick bear?
Yes.
Stop it.
Well, and it's like it's become this thing, and like men are like, you know, doing their rebuttal videos.
What are they doing? Holding fish and taking pictures with it?
Well, and they're like, why would you want to be with a man? Blah, 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 blah.
Because they are unsafe.
Right, and it's like because y'all are evil. Okay, you can't be trusted. At least with a bear, you know what you're getting. But at first...
Do you? But they might be yogi. Eaten.
But like, this is my thing. At first, I wasn't sure what they meant. I thought...
A gay bear?
Like a gay bear? Like a big old burly guy?
I would choose that.
I mean, you're still going to be safe.
For real.
I'd be like, oh, honey, how are you going to make it in those shoes?
Here's some flannel.
Yeah. I'll keep you warm. Here's my flannel shirt.
Oh, I love that. Not like the real bear, though.
Right. But
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, it's crazy because women are just like, men can't be trusted. They act a certain way and then they change. And because like I saw a video where a guy in I think it was like Vietnam or somewhere, he was in a store, he was like training a woman, and then she was checking out at the thing, and he was like coming onto her, and she like kind of like pushed him off, like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
He took her and threw her to the ground and punched her. And I'm like, this is why women don't want to be alone with you, because
Are you serious?
people can't take rejection.
Well, and you know what? I think in if there's nobody around, I feel like people will act differently if they know no one's watching.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, if a man is in a forest, does it make it sound like that whole... I don't know if there's like a psychology behind that, but I feel like they will have more gusto, if you will, to be like more rowdy.
But this was like in front of people. Like, the guy grabbed her and like threw her on the ground, and then nobody did anything. And I'm like, this is a society we live in where it's just like people watching all the time.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Like,
it's like, you do know this isn't happening on your phone. This is like in
real
front
life.
of you.
I sometimes feel like that moment of life where it's like, I'm like, are we in a science fiction movie right now with all the things that are going on? And I'm like, this is interesting. Like, if someone falls down, people record it instead of like go to help. And I'm like, is this where we are?
It's
in
very
the world?
Black Mirror right now.
That's what it is. Yeah. Which I've never watched, but I probably should. I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen to never watch it. It's fine. So anyway, how was your week, Joe?
Well, so Nick's friend Christy, my friend Christy, she was here this weekend, so we continued to play tourist. But we had dinner with you guys at Cucina Urbana, so you popped my Cucina cherry, which was fantastic.
Your Cucci cherry?
Yes, my Cucina cherry. And because you guys had mentioned that they had like a polenta board, which it's not available. So Tyler, Travis, what's his name? Kevin?
Taylor.
Kevin. White man's name.
It's your attention to detail that makes you so effective
Correct.
in the job.
I know, and it's really sad because like at work, like I have extreme attention to detail, but once I ain't getting paid, I am aloof. No, but we had like the food was so good. I had, what was it, like it was like a duck gnocchi, and it had like a very like
we ordered the same thing, yeah.
Good minds think alike,
right?
But it was really, really, really good food, and I always say this to people I know, that like you're the one person that you always want to go to a restaurant to, because you do all the ordering and like you take care of everyone, make sure everyone's good, and you also know people, so like you get stuff like added in. Just because, like, oh, yeah, that's Paul. So, for an example of that was the desserts that came out.
All
it was
three
like,
of them?
oh, we'll just do, like,
Tiramisu.
And then that, like, lemon thing. Oh, my God.
The lemon
meringue.
I think that, because I think you had said, oh, yeah, that was, like, the best option. I was like, oh, okay, like, whatever. And I'm like, let's try tiramisu. So I'm glad that they brought that out, because I would pick that over the other two options any day. It was so good. So the limoncello, yes. So that was earlier last week, and then on Friday we went to Moe's, where we saw you guys again.
But did you guys go to Ensign? Did they go to Mexico on Friday?
Oh yeah,
Christy went.
Yeah. So Nick and Christy, we all in the room had to work and contribute to society. So they went early morning, and then I think they got back around like 3 or 4.
I don't think Nick's still back. He's not here today.
Yeah, he's Mexico now. That's where he lives.
He might have been sold into slavery.
Yeah, as long as he's making money.
That's my drama.
Get it? Oh, wait, what?
That's gonna make that story up. That
oh yeah, well, it's not.
Slavery.
It's not a made up story. No one can confirm that. But my favorite part about when they get back, I was like, well, you got to make sure that you didn't drink any water or have any washed fruit or any washed vegetables, because you don't want to get traveler's diarrhea. And I was like, did you eat any fruits and vegetables? And they were like, no, but there was lettuce. And I was like, well, you better be careful. And so I kind of like psyched them out that they were going to get.
And we found out
really
that you
bad.
Can't really call it.
I was good. Yeah, that's why I called it traveler's diarrhea.
Okay, so we hope we're not being offensive to anyone out there, but we're going to talk about this because we didn't know this. Like, you're not supposed to call it Montezuma's Revenge anymore, because that's...
It's politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Which, I get it, but how am I supposed to know? Is that on the list of things you can't say for 2024? I feel like we need a central repository, like, what not to say thisyear.com.
Right. What's problematic?
I thought that was Truth Social.
Oh, you know what? Yep. You're right. I'm going to trademark that website. How do you do that? I'll buy the domain name.
There you go.
What not to say this year. So no, we did... they got back from Mexico, which they said it was really cool because they have global entry and they just like whizzed on through. And I was like, okay, I can get that. So we did actually that night. We went to Moe's for a drag show where we saw you guys. I think you guys were doing happy hour.
How was the drag show?
Okay, so it was it was a competition, but it was like the final two girls competing for the crown or something, and it was a $1,500 prize, so decent chunk of change.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that they had like 4 or 5 competitors that had been like knocked out of the competition. I thought the competitors that were knocked out of the competition did better than the final 2.
Oh.
So there was this like beautiful Asian woman that was like, oh my God, she was like tiny but like built and had like beautiful teeth and was like sexual and like did the WAP thing where she did like the hip thrusting on the floor but just like moved like a gazelle. I think that's like very gracefully, I think. But I thought I was enamored by her because she just like commanded your attention. And then there was a Latina queen who had like frilly like fringe on her thing, and she did a lot of this.
I love the fact that Joe, you guys can't see it, but Joe was like had his fingers down. He's doing like it looks like fringe.
Yeah.
Udders.
Yeah. No, those were she was tucked, so no udders. But it was like. Those 2 queens knew how to perform, and the other ones were okay. And the final 2, I just wish that they, like, I don't know, gave some more. I don't know if it was, like, nerves, but, like, I wouldn't have voted for them.
Okay.
And I think the other thing was that, like, the one queen had, like, all of her friends there, and it was vote by applause. So they just all cheered.
Oh, so they kind of, like, dialed it in.
Yeah, and Chad Michaels, like, Chad Michaels is, it makes me laugh. So Chad Michaels won All-Stars 1, I think.
Yes.
And the girl is checked out. She like walks in, she sits down, she's like, all right, okay, do your thing, bye. Like, she's getting paid for the gig, and she does her thing and leaves. And I respect that.
Well, I mean, you're getting paid because everybody knows Chad Michaels in San Diego, and you're just riding that wave still as much as you can. It might be a small little like wave.
I hope she invested her prize money from All Stars 1. I think she bought a house up in Escondido.
You know what? I'm like, girl, you need to like be like Bibi Zahara Benet and be like, I need to come back and compete again because y'all didn't give me enough money the first time.
I would love to see Chad Michaels because I feel like she's kind of branched away from the Cher impersonating and has
definitely.
She's not just a Cher.
She's diversified.
She is.
Yeah.
And I think, too, like, what I appreciated about the competition is it's, like, supporting local queens and really kind of getting their visibility. And, again, like, some of those queens are really polished. And the other part that I've started to realize about Moe's is they have really good sliders.
I don't think I've tried their sliders.
Okay, so they're not small.
Okay.
Because, like, you get sliders and you're like, oh, let me get, like, a bite. No. They're, like...
a girthy slider.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like... After you have all 3 of their sliders, it's like you've had 1.5 of their regular burgers.
Okay.
So it doesn't really... You're not having a smaller portion, but they have... I don't know what the sauce is on there. It's a really good, like, I'm assuming mayo something.
It's an aioli.
Yes. And it is very good.
Handmade aioli.
Yes, with ejaculate.
It's called a skeet aioli.
Mm-hmm.
That's the secret ingredient.
Hey, if I don't know what's there, I'll gladly eat it. Just don't tell me, and I'll be fine. So yeah, we did Moe's, and then the next day we went to La Jolla and did a bunch of the La Jolla stuff. We went to the, I think it's the Cove. No,
yeah.
Where the seals are.
Yeah,
the Cove, and they stink. Like, not good. Like, it is stinky. It's some stanky place.
Were there people down there trying to like?
No, it's closed.
Thank God.
So I think it's closed indefinitely for public.
Yes.
I don't think that it is open anymore.
Because you could, like, last year there were so many videos of people running away from the seals and sea lions because they were getting too close to them.
Well, and I think that during COVID it was closed.
Right.
And they might have reopened it like for whatever season, but I think it's closed again because it's like preserving habitat.
Yeah. Right.
And everyone was behaving, like no one was down there, and the seals were doing their seals or sea lions, I don't know. They were doing their thing and they were having a fun time. And, like, that's how it should be. Like, don't go down there to get a picture.
You don't need to be that close to them.
No.
Like,
you can get a seal fee
that
elsewhere.
is a wild animal.
A seal fee?
Yeah, I did it.
I didn't even notice that.
I think so. I will say that, like, I think I have a picture with a seal when I came to San Diego in like 2015. But that was before we knew.
Right. Good thing it didn't bite you.
Right. So, yeah, I think then after that was just kind of hanging out. I don't know where we went to dinner that day on Saturday, but I think it was just nothing crazy. We went to a really cool, like, French, it's called like Gibraltar's or Gerard's cafe or something near the hotel where we had your birthday. And they had a really good breakfast sandwiches, but really bad pastries. So don't go there for pastries, but they had really good. I got like an egg and cheese croissant.
It's a good thing we don't really know the name of the place, so that's good.
Well, I have a picture. They had cookies, and there was a Trump sugar cookie, and they had a Trump sugar cookie, and I was like, I want to get this, and it was terrible.
And it's wearing a diaper that says "Stormy" on it. Okay.
And then I think just regular, just old working and doing my thing. How was your week?
It was good. Like you said, we went to dinner, and then we were at happy hour because we met up with some friends and stuff because we got approved and signed the lease. So now we are moving from our house that we've been in for 9 years into a great little community apartment complex, not too far from here. Actually, closer to my work than this house is.
Oh, are you gonna walk to work?
I could possibly even ride a bike.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I just said I could. I'm not going to.
How? Because you guys are over by Fashion Valley now.
Yeah, so we're closer to there. But yeah, it's really nice. The community is it's a vibe.
Ew.
I'll say it. It's a vibe.
It feels like a resort a little bit.
Right. They have a great pool area. They have cabanas that have TVs in them. And
everything's pristine and clean.
Yeah, they keep the
gated
community. They keep the grounds wonderful. It's all solar.
I think what were you saying that like every energy, like you don't have to pay for a lot of energy?
You'll get a credit on your bill for a portion of what their big solar panels generate.
That's so nice.
And it usually is more than their fees.
Right. And we pay $45 a month for that. And then
that's it? Flat?
Yeah.
And
that's
then you
not
don't
bad.
You still have to pay for gas.
I have enough gas already, but
what would the gas be for? Stove,
heater, hot water heater are all gas.
Oh.
But that's fine.
I mean, but that's not terrible, right?
No,
Gas costs are usually cheaper.
No different.
And so, we're very happy about that. It's got a great gym. I might start working out. Let's see what happens.
I might start working out.
I'm not making any promises, but we'll see if I get bored.
We're just taking away one more excuse.
At least it's available to me. I have choices now. They have
great, Tatiana,
right? They have a they have a little cyber cafe
you can go
area
by and
in
get
there.
coffee 24/7.
Yeah, they have They even have a dog washing station.
Oh, for free?
For free,
girl. That's
I know.
So nice.
I know.
And Baxter does well.
And it's a nice one. I mean, it's actually really professional.
And they have a lot of green spaces, a lot of areas for your dogs and stuff. They didn't care about size or weight or breed of dog.
Which is good. They're not speciesist.
Huge. That's a huge thing for us. So we're very excited.
And they made the process very easy.
Yeah, they made the process easy. And when we were looking at houses to rent, like in Palm Springs or even here, people were like, we need first month's rent, last month's rent, deposit of $3,000, pet deposit of $1,000, blah, blah, blah. And the apartment complex was like, if it's okay, we just need $250 down now, and then you can pay the other $250 when you're approved.
Yeah.
And it's $25 for each one of you to fill out the
that's not bad.
application and stuff, and then you can move in.
And it's only first month and last month.
No.
Really?
No, it was only it was only a $500 deposit.
Oh, really? Yep. I think they changed the way that the deposits are for 2024 for renting.
They're not required to do it. A lot of places still charge a whole month.
Right.
But this place just didn't.
That's not bad.
Other places are charging a whole month and then they're giving you discounts on your first month's rent. So they're just trying to attract. They're filling seats basically. If there's a vacancy.
Heads and beds, baby. Heads and beds.
Was there a lot of openings?
No,
Or availabilities?
They had like 3 of the floor plan that we were looking, and it comes with a garage, which makes it a lot
Nice.
and an
nicer.
uncovered parking spot.
Oh, so you guys have dedicated parking for both of your
2,
cars.
yep.
Oh, that's nice.
And a little bit of extra storage in the garage, which was important because we're going to lose all that. You know?
Yeah.
They run at about a 90% or more occupancy. So
Wow.
yeah, they're
And
doing
there's
really
250
well.
homes in the complex.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So our floor plan, there were 3 different sites available. One was with a view of the pool, so we took that one.
Ooh, are you on the top level?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
That's the
second floor.
Oh, okay. That's the top level. I thought there
It's
was a
only 2
third floor.
floors.
You never want to have anyone above you, ever.
I mean, unless you're a bottom.
No. The only person that should be above you is the Lord.
Okay.
Because the Lord walks quietly.
Yeah.
Because you don't need no elephant fucking stompers.
There were only one set of footprints in the sand.
and that's the Lord.
Right.
Thank you. And you walk silently, bitch.
Yeah. Our luck is if we did have somebody above us, it'd be like the cast of Riverdance would be up
Right.
there.
You know what? You can go to my old apartment because they already live there.
I'll even take Shen Yu. Shen Yun wants to be up there. Great, because they're flying across. They're like,
And they
like
are very
ninjas.
like soft lander. I'm
Right.
assuming. I still I know it's bad, but I still want to see Shen Yun.
Do you?
Because I've always seen the like advertisements and it looks cool, but I think it's like trying to convert you to communism. But I don't know.
It's in every city too. It's
It's
everywhere.
right. And I want to know how. Is it just multiple casts?
It's like Cirque du Soleil.
right.
They
Right.
just travel everywhere. I mean, I guess I don't know.
I might see it, but not tell anybody. And I may go to Chick-fil-A
He'll
before
be
or
wearing
after.
sunglasses and a scarf around his head.
Don't mind the man in the back.
Yeah.
It's just me.
So we also did some started packing and getting rid of stuff. And
Did you Maria Kondo or whatever her name is?
Yes, we are Maria Kondoing it, and we'll get into that part because that's part of what I'm obsessed with. And then it's so funny. We went to Moe's again last night because they do pasta. They do pasta night, and I was really
Girl, you've been at Moe's. Oh, it's only 2 days in 7 week or 7 day period.
So, and they
Do
have
you like their
spaghetti.
pasta?
They have spaghetti and show tunes, so I really wanted show tunes, and
Okay.
I like their spaghetti.
Do you really?
No, but they do Alfredo now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
they'll
new?
They'll put Alfredo sauce
Pretty
on
new.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. And they'll do chicken parmesan with Alfredo and
I thought it was just some straight up spaghetti with
with
Meat sauce.
ragu.
It
Yeah.
used to be.
Yeah.
And,
So,
I mean, it still is, but they have other options now.
but that's what I did. But it was so funny because we saw our friends there, and then they would stop by and say hi, and then some other friends would stop by and say hi. And at one point, the waiter comes over. He's like, "How you guys doing? You need anything else?" We're like, "No, we're good right now." Blah blah blah. We're eating and stuff. He's like, "You guys are the most popular ones here."
Yeah, you are. And you're like, that's right, bitch. Now you know.
Do you know us? Do you know who we are?
We are Pandy, thank you.
So
Get it right, bitch.
we're just trying to get everything because we're slowly getting stuff packed and
This will
getting
be
rid of things.
gradual.
Yes.
Well, because you guys have 9 years of
Right.
things to sift through, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot. And you're probably finding things that you didn't know you had.
right.
Yeah, tons.
And that's great because it's like a little treasure hunt, but it's
Yeah.
also okay,
You're like,
so
oh shit, we have that. Are you going to keep all of your kitchen stuff? Or are you going to, okay.
We're going
Pretty
to try to
much.
keep all
Yeah.
the kitchen
Yeah.
stuff.
And-
But it'll be a challenge.
And Andy already has ideas of how he wants to work the baking pantry into the new place, so we'll see if that works or not.
It has
So-
a pantry.
Oh.
So a lot of what's in the garage here would go in the pantry.
Is it like a walk-in
Hopefully.
pantry?
Yeah, walk-in pantry.
Oh, okay.
It's not that big.
But still.
Bigger.
Right.
And then the closet for the second bedroom, which is going to be like our office wine room now, that closet's really big, and we can put more stuff in there.
Where are you going to put the piano?
It's going.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to sell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
On it. It would look lovely in your home.
It probably would, but I don't think the HOA would allow for that.
They don't know.
You
They
would
can't
have to-
control what's inside your home.
You would have to pay more for the move to get them to open.
I don't
the
even know
door
how
and
they would
elevator.
fucking get it in
Yeah.
there because they would have to crane it in through our sliding glass door.
No, you turn it sideways, take the legs off. It actually moves pretty easy through a door.
Oh, really?
Yeah. you just have to get people. You just have to get professionals to do it for you because there has to be
You
balance.
can, yeah, because can't you like? You have to retune it. I'm guessing.
There's a special board that you attach it to when you're moving it, called a piano board. That
I had no idea.
Experienced movers know how to do it. You take the lid off because the lid's heavy on its own, and so that goes separately. The parts come out. You know? The pedals come off, the legs come off.
So it's easy to move.
Yeah. It's easier than an upright piano because an upright piano is huge and bulky. This is actually a narrow thing that just turns, fits through a door easily.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Are you going to try and find like a musical person to sell to?
Yeah, I'm going to probably list. I had a lead. They haven't followed back with me, but I'm going to probably list it on Facebook.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see how this movie's gonna go because now since we're on the second floor, we're gonna have to see how if the movers are gonna be able to get the wine cabinet up there.
Did you take? You took dimensions, so all your furniture will fit, right?
Sure.
None of the furniture is big enough to be a problem except for the wine refrigerator, but that's a pretty standard size refrigerator.
Yeah.
Where's your wine refrigerator?
In our wine room.
Oh yeah.
And then we have but things are bulky.
Yeah.
And awkward.
Yeah.
So the bar is bulky and awkward.
Are you going to put that in the main space?
No, it's going to go in the office.
The second room.
Yeah.
Because that'll be your workstation area too, right?
Yeah. So we're going to combine that room that's our wine room with the desk that's in that room, and pretty much that's it.
Okay. And then that will work.
And then
I'm excited to see.
There's a credenza in that wine room that's going to become under the TV because there's no fireplace.
Oh. But do you ever use a fireplace here?
Hardly ever.
Yeah. We
hung stockings
have.
by the chimney.
Is it real, or do you have gas?
It's real.
I have gas.
Yeah.
But the fireplace is real.
Well, we know you have to pay for that.
So anyway, so that was our week. So yeah, that means that we can get into mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth resuscitation. Yeah. So what's giving you life, Joe?
You're going to laugh at me on my second one, but the first one is the show Not Dead Yet. And I started watching it a while ago.
Oh, is that Gina Rodriguez in there?
Yes.
From
Virgin Girl show.
Yes.
The Virgin...
Jane the Virgin.
Yes. Which, okay, that show was great, but I also never finished that. But I just loved, the introduction because it was all right, let's get back. Here, we're at Jane the Virgin. And I'm it was kind of like a telenovela. And I was this is fun. And also the guy was really hot. The guy that, wasn't her husband, but, gave his sperm or whatever. And, was supposed to raise a baby, but was, really rich. Gina Rodriguez, I think. Yeah, it has Dina from Superstore as well. And it's just, cute. It's a cute little, 25-minute show. And the second season's pretty cute, so I've been catching up on that. And then the second thing is, I don't know how long ago, my mom got me, canning jars for whatever reason, I don't know. And so I usually make oatmeal, overnight oats. And so I was let me just, I'll use these little canning jars. It's perfect. They're just, the right amount. And then what that ended up getting me to is, the YouTube rabbit hole of, overnight oat recipes. Where you can the world is your oyster. You want Reese's peanut butter oats? You got it. You want bananas and cream oats? You got it. Anything that you could think of, you can make an overnight oats with. Okay. And I'm living for that because I've only done just regular because I don't have any of the supplies, but I could do whatever I want if I wanted to.
You just you're not going to, but you having the options.
I do. I'm that's not happening, but look what I could do. I could do that.
That could be me.
What is giving you life?
So I also have two things.
Ooh.
So the first one is on Amazon Prime. There's a show called Dance Life, and it's about this academy called Brent Street. Brent Street.
High school level.
High school level. These are kids who they go all day and do nothing but dance or learn how to be a performer and things like that. And it's fantastic, and it's really cool because since we just came back from Australia, and this is based in Sydney.
Is it real or is it?
Yeah, it's real.
Okay, like not so reality.
So this is a documentary.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but it's cool to see. We're like, oh, we've been there. We've been there when they show pictures of Sydney, and we're like, well, we've seen this school because we were on top of the bridge and we saw it from there. And,
did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
So, so that show is fantastic, and I think it's really cool, and I love the dancing in it. So
Are they good?
They're really good.
They are amazingly good.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like,
because it would be a little like if they weren't good.
right.
So this one school in Australia, 95% of the working dancers in Australia have gone through that school.
Right.
Wow.
One of the
is it like the Juilliard of Australia?
Kind of, I guess.
Basically, yeah.
That's
and
really
like
cool.
one of the people who choreographs and is a teacher there has like performed with Kylie, performed with Dua Lipa, performed with like a ton of people.
Get into the peep.
And yeah, right. I will say, okay, you know what? Actually, I have 3.
Yeah, okay.
Because the other thing that I'm obsessed with is actually Dua Lipa's new song "Illusion" and the video that goes with it.
I have no idea.
Because it's like the video was filmed in Barcelona.
Okay. You mean Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Okay. Yes.
And then it was also, it gives me vibes of Andy was looking this up, and it does give me vibes of Slow, the video from Kylie Minogue.
I've never seen that.
Oh, see, and like you got to look it up because it's so sexy and so cool.
In Barcelona?
No, but it's just like it just gives a vibe, like the way that it's filmed and what they're doing.
Dua Peep is a good video producer.
Oh, she has great videos.
Yes,
and then also it does also give me vibes of Kylie Minogue's "All the Lovers."
I haven't seen that one either.
That one is like one of my favorite videos of all time, and like should just be up in the top like 50 videos ever made.
Really?
Because like it's just her, and she starts a song, and all of a sudden it's just like people getting into this huge pile of people, and it's just like all of them together, and all of them loving and doing all this, and all of a sudden you see Kylie at the top of it, like the peak of this like love fest, and it's just like it's really kind of cool. So
when
like
did that song come out?
It came out recently. It's called "Illusion."
Girl, I need to
Which one?
catch up.
Kylie
Both.
or Dua Lipa's song just
Recently.
came out, right? And then "All the Lovers" is like back in like 2010, 2008,
Which isn't that long ago.
I know, but it feels so much longer.
2010 was almost 15 years ago.
I know. Exactly. Okay, so my last thing that I'm obsessed with is since we're moving, Andy and I have been trying to sell stuff that like we have, and so we are kind of obsessed with like eBay, but mostly Facebook Marketplace, like selling stuff on there. Because like I'll tell you, like first thing, I told Andy, I was like, well, I'm going to sell my graphic novels on Facebook Marketplace, see what happens. I sold them for $50 in less than a day.
How many were there?
There's like 60 of them. Like together, so I just did it as one big package.
What is a graphic novel?
It collects a storyline within a comic book series.
So it's like a bunch of comic books bound together.
So not porn.
No, but we do have that also.
Oh. Wait, you have paper
tasteful porn.
You guys have like printed porn?
Well, it's like they're books.
No,
they're hardbound books, and it's like, and it's tasteful. It's not. It's art.
So it's art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have that as a coffee table read at your new place.
Well, we're gonna sell those at the yard sale as well. But like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
That is.
They're Australian men. Because it's like Bondi, like from the beach and stuff. So. It is, it's artsy.
Yeah, that's not porn, that's art.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to spank it to that because I'd be too appreciative of, like, the artistry. Well, I'd be like, the photographer meant the oppression.
Maybe because the Lord was watching over you.
Obviously.
Who lives above me.
But it's really cool because then Andy got into it and like he sold some bookcases in less than a day.
I get so nervous about those interactions.
I did too. So the first one I did, I actually met him in a parking lot, and I was like, but he was such a cool guy, and it was like, really
was it during the daylight?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what's cool? We're not going to live here after about 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, so I don't care if they know where I live.
Okay, that's that makes me feel safer.
Yeah. And so Andy's like sold a couple more things off of Facebook Marketplace. I finally sold. I had 4 video games that I was gonna sell on eBay, but then I was like, that's too long. It's like I want to get rid of these and get the money. So I sold them for $200. 4 video games for $200.
50 each.
These are PS2 games.
PS2 games, right? And so the guy
PS2. What is it, like a collectible now?
Well, yes, because it's like it's a RPG called Shikoden.
Okay.
And when the guy came, I was like, this one is probably the one that everybody wants because this one is worth at least at more than what you're paying for all 4 of them right now. Because
really,
people are selling it on eBay for like $300 or so.
No shit. Because individually, like, I feel like it was probably worth like $40 back in the day. Right?
No, actually, that game, I think, because I've had it like almost 20 years.
PS2's been around for 20 years?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Longer than that.
Oh.
So I've had that game for a long... It's traveled with me for a while. And then the guy was like, yeah, I was like... When I saw how much you were posting it for him and all of them, I was like, does this guy know what he has? I was like, no, I do. I just don't have the time to do it.
You just want to get rid of it, yeah.
I just want to get rid of it. So he's very appreciative of that. But here's my thing.
What's the thing?
I understand people are always looking for a deal. But, like, don't send me a message that says, $150, I'll buy it right now. Where can I meet you? Like... I'm not looking to suck your dick. I just want to sell my video games. Like,
I was that way when I tried to get the Ninja Creamy. Because I went on Facebook and I was like, "Oh, do you have it in stock? I'll come and look at it today and I'll give you money." And it was like a girl in Santee. She never got back to me. Because I've been on the other side.
I was that girl from Santee because I'm like,
this bitch.
Well, and it was like, they're like, "Oh, I'll give you 150." And I'm like, "No, it's 200." Mm-hmm. Like. You think I'm an idiot? Like, I know what I have.
To sell.
Right. I know what I have, but they're also still priced to sell, but not that.
Right. And you there is bartering in any deal, but still, like,
right.
Give it a minute.
Yeah. So, and then, Andy's very excited because he's had such good luck with selling stuff on, like, Facebook Marketplace. And he's, like, got stuff on eBay. So if you want, check out eBay for some, a collection of 27 Franklin Franklin Library encyclopedias or books or something.
Oh my God!
Franklin Library. What is Franklin Library?
They're like collector leather-bound books.
Oh,
Franklin Library, is that the library?
It's the publisher.
Oh,
did you have to buy them off of the with the lady with the headset like Time Life?
It's like not life insurance.
They came like one a month. You were in a club for a while, and
that's cool.
Yeah, and I guess somewhere in my extended family, other people were also, because I had a few duplicates, but only like 3.
Are you selling those too?
Yeah, it's a lot. I just again, they're actually probably worth about $450. From what I can tell online,
there's
a lot of value in this, and I didn't.
How do you find the value though? Just like
you just look at what other people are willing to pay.
Right. You do a little bit of research. You go on we go on eBay, we go on Facebook Marketplace, see if there's anything comparable to what we're selling, or if that same product was out there selling.
Yeah.
Then okay, what's selling? How much is it selling for? How many bids does it have? How long has it been?
That's a lot of
on
effort.
auction.
Yeah.
Like those kind of things.
It literally takes just a few minutes.
Right.
Because you're looking on eBay or Facebook and seeing what other
So
people
this isn't taking like hours of your day?
No. I mean, literally like between 2 phone calls, I could list something and...
Yeah. And and on Facebook Marketplace, you just message people through the Facebook Messenger, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll meet you on this day, blah, blah, blah. And then they make it really easy because if somebody messages you after you've already talked to somebody else, they have automatically generated responses. So it's like, in talks, we'll let you know.
Oh. So, if you have marked it hey, I'm going to give it to this person or something?
I'm talking to somebody right now, and if they decide they don't want to get it, then I'll get to you.
Oh.
But just know that I'm talking to somebody to sell it.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
It works if you have junk to sell.
Yeah.
Your junk is someone else's treasure.
Do you take cash, or how do you accept payment?
Cash or Venmo.
Venmo. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do when we have a yard sale, because we're like, cash or Venmo.
Because you don't want check? Well, what's another
How am I
way?
Who
gonna
writes
get
a
somebody?
check nowadays?
Yeah.
Probably Nick.
So honestly, that's one thing I will not miss about this place because our landlords refuse to take electronic transfer of funds.
No.
They make us write a check, and
Every month.
And I drive over to their offices every month to drop it off by hand
Which-
because I don't want to ever be in the we never got the check situation.
Right. Oh my god.
Which I'm just like, why?
Girl, you could do like a bank to bank transfer.
I've asked them so many times,
And you know what? And it would work in their benefit because then they get the money right away.
Right.
They get our check, and it takes them at least 2 weeks to deposit it.
Not going to miss that because our new community, online, everything. It's like they've got an app.
There's an app for that.
Yes,
We do.
it.
Oh my god, what, like Appfolio or something? It's called.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
same sort of thing. Like you can do like maintenance requests.
Ours
or
is
whatever.
called Butterfly.
Ooh, get it,
so
girl.
it must be a gay community.
No, that's your key, not your app.
Oh,
That's
okay.
your
Well,
access.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You have to be added to the list of dedicated people.
But you could download the app, and we can give you codes so you can get in.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. I'm all for codes. I love a code. That's so coded or whatever.
Speaking of coded,
Oh,
What a segue.
what a segue, right, for our topic this week. So, okay, I'm trying to figure out how we thought of this, but like,
ChatGPT.
oh yeah, ChatGPT. Okay, so thank you for reminding me
Because I had to look back and be like, wait, what were we talking about?
So one day I was like playing around, not at work, because I'm very serious at work. I'm very
No.
focused.
You were also not looking at the art, your male art,
Yeah.
your erotic review art.
So I went on ChatGPT and was just like, "Oh, hey ChatGPT, write me an episode of these."
You did not say, "Hey, ChatGPT." Hey, girl, it's your boy Paul.
How you doing?
Why don't you ask that bitch Siri?
I feel like this is funny though because I can see you doing that. Hey, girl, ChatGPT girl, how you doing?
Hey, Chatty G.
Oh my god.
So anyway, I went on there and I was like, write me an episode of These Unprecedented Gays Podcast. And it did it, but it was based on a really cool topic, which is queer spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's not something like a history and evolution of it, which I thought was a really good idea. And I don't think I know that we touched on some things here and there, but not like fully on like where it comes from, where we are. Do we need them? Is it, that kind of stuff. So, and it was interesting because we were watching, if people watched Fellow Travelers on Paramount on Showtime, there was actually a really great miniseries with Matt Bomber and the guy from Bridgerton, both gay leads, and just fantastic acting and stuff like that. But it was really great because it showed what they had to go through in the 40s and 50s, which was, the queer spaces.
Even into the 70s.
Right, even in the 70s.
They didn't exist? There were no queer spaces back then.
Well, they look like they didn't exist because they were so hidden and coded.
Interesting.
So, like, they were speakeasies in the back alleys of places and neighborhoods where it wasn't technically that safe for you to be in.
People's homes.
Right.
With parties,
They throw a party in that way, and you had to have passwords and ways to figure out how to get to that spot.
Interesting.
But then when you're in that spot, you have to worry that, is somebody going to see you? Well, like, it's very interesting because they were like, well, somebody's going to see me here. And I'm like, well, if they see you inside the gay bar, what are they doing inside the gay bar? Maybe y'all should just get together.
Oh, yeah.
But like police raids, police raids were like a huge concern for people. Like,
right. But that happened often,
Yeah,
right?
it happened all the time. And that was part of like what happened with Stonewall in 69. Yeah. But then you also had people who would, and they call this, I guess they used to call this cottaging.
Oh.
Like where people would go and do cruising in like bathrooms and stuff and like public restrooms. And that's what they...
Those were tea rooms.
Right? Yeah. And so like, but then you'd have to worry about undercover cops while you were there.
Oh, because it was illegal, right?
Right. It was illegal, especially during McCarthyism and stuff, because they were always looking for communists or people who were sexual deviants and things like that. So that's where people came up with codes. And I think it's called the Polari, I think was like the name for like the language that was created amongst the homosexuals.
They had a language?
Yeah.
That even goes back to England.
Right, it goes back to England and stuff.
where it was truly illegal and you could go into prison for...
Right.
Oh, fuck, I didn't know
so
that.
that's where you get like the idea of Friends of Dorothy. Because it was like, people are like, oh, because of Judy Garland and she had a huge gay following. But I also think it's because Wizard of Oz over the rainbow.
Yes.
The rainbow became a...
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's... But
interesting.
it's not used as much anymore. But, like, even on the cruise ships, like, there's... On Royal Caribbean, on every cruise ship, they have Friends of Dorothy meetups. So, as a way of saying, hey...
Interesting.
Gays. You know, people don't use the word chicken anymore. Which is code for young gay.
Chicken?
Yeah. Like a chicken. Like a spring chicken.
Like what we would call a twink or a bear. You know,
right.
Well, it's a term like that would identify a type of person you're looking for.
I feel like, so you like went deep into the history. And that's the thing too, because I didn't know that it went back that far. Because I thought it was like, oh yeah, back to like the 70s, right? But
and it probably even goes farther back than that. But like, it used to be, it wasn't as...
it started in England.
Right. And I mean, it was, I mean, being gay and homosexual wasn't as seen as that bad for a while, and then it kind of turned a corner.
Oh, yeah, because like in ancient Italy, like they were fucking all day long.
Right. You know,
with their friends.
Fucking everything.
For real.
So, you know, it's just, it's interesting because like then you move into stuff like, you get into the 60s where it's a little bit more about that free love, but it's still, everybody is kind of segregated to San Francisco.
Right, gay bars. Right. Took off.
And then you start getting gay bars and stuff like that in New York and certain areas, like the East Village and stuff. There's bars specifically for homosexuals, but they're still being rated and stuff, even though they're trying to be out and proud.
Yep.
So that's where Stonewall comes in 1969 when the police raided it and the first brick was thrown. And no Derek Barry, no one died at Stonewall.
By Marsha P. Jackson or whatever.
Yes. You know, and it's interesting because a lot of queer spaces back then were like, okay, hidden bars, somebody's house, the woods.
I was going to say, I feel like there was a lot of out in the woods sort of stuff.
Public bathrooms, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Andy was even talking about, like, there was a group.
I just watched this short film, and it was about, like, a campground in the woods in Pennsylvania. That was, like, an all-gay campground. And during, like, the 60s, it was a safe space, and there was no sign on it. It was just a big green door. And you could go there, and once you got inside, it was this gay-friendly environment. And people would go... like sometimes every weekend or all summer long, or even have like it'd be a place they'd live part of the year.
Really?
Because it was safe and they could be themselves.
Wow. And that's the thing that's like, I feel like my, the time of my life now that I was born, I am so lucky to, like, it's privilege, if you want to even call it that, where like, I didn't have to go through all of that kind of like hideaway sort of thing, because that's what I was thinking about, and I wrote down a lot of like, I never had to seek out refuge because I was blessed to live in San Francisco Bay Area, where it was like I didn't have to like hide or run away from people. And like I know me and Nick had talked about this for a while too, where he's like, the gay bar is a sacred place, because we were talking about straight people coming in and kind of like taking over, and he's like, they have to be respectful because it's like queer spaces are inherently like refuge places for folks to go to. And I was like, yeah.
Well, that's what we were talking about too. Andy and I were talking about this because it was like, those were the only places to go were gay bars, you know, and
to meet other gay people.
Yeah. And that, so people, you know, you see these stories of like in the movies and stuff of people standing outside a gay bar waiting to go, you know,
get the
nerve to work up to go in and walk in and stuff. And they walk in and they walk right out because they're so afraid. You know, and it's just like, though that's not made up.
Really?
Those are actually things that people had to do because they were afraid for their lives. They were afraid for who would find out if they saw them. Like,
So that's my world. I mean, I only went to my first gay bar like 14 years ago.
See?
Well, I was going to ask.
That was
like,
BP.
Well, I was going to ask.
BP. RBP, right before Paul.
And not the oil people.
Yeah.
But one of the things I want to ask you guys is, like, do you remember your first safe queer place that you ever went to?
Mine was Delta Youth Alliance.
What is it?
So it was this group of gay, lesbian, and bisexual youth, and it was anywhere between 14 to 19.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we met at the First Unitarian Church in just outside of downtown, near the Fashion Square Mall
In Orlando.
And we would meet every Monday night.
Wow.
And we would sit around and we'd talk for like maybe 2 or so hours. And then everybody would then go to the mall in the food court and get something to eat and stuff. So
cool.
It was very cool. I loved it. I met some great people there. Also met some not great people there, but that's
Just like any bar.
It's just like any bar or gathering of people. Just because you're gay doesn't mean that you're a good person, or doesn't mean that we
Amen.
get along or anything.
Amen. Just like dogs. Not all dogs
Exactly.
like each other.
So mine was MCC, Metropolitan Community Church.
Where's that?
It's a gay affirming church here in San Diego.
Oh, nice.
They're in Claremont.
See, both
that
of our
was the
first
first-
queer spaces were churches.
Yeah.
Mine was
Look at
not a
that.
church. Mine was a gay bar.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the Menagerie in Riverside.
Oh.
And it's funny that you're talking about, like, getting the nerve to go in, because, like, I had, like, basically downloaded Grindr because I like knew what it was somehow, because I was in college and I like met a guy and like we were kind of like dating, and he's like, oh, let me take you to the bar, and I was like, oh, okay. And like I was mortified because like I wasn't out, even though people probably knew. And like,
Well, that guy did.
he did. Evan. He was a great like introduction into the gay scene. I will give it that. And like I remember vividly, like we had to wait in line to get into the bar, and I was so scared. I was like, what if people see that I'm out here? And like he was trying to be like a little cute and like what is it, like public display of affection, to hold my hand, and I was like, no, don't touch me, which is my own insecurities, right?
Yeah.
But like we get in, and then I was like, okay, like I don't know what to do, like I'm here with you and like your friends, and like it was like very scary. But then after I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, like then I'm like, okay, like this is a safe space, because it was like Riverside's little like pocket of safety, and that's where Raven. I didn't meet Raven, but like that's where she performed. So like that was my first introduction into like real drag, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So yeah.
But it's cool to see people go to queer spaces like that, and unfortunately, a bar, it just happens to be a lot of people's first place because that's where a lot of them hang out.
Yeah.
But it's a place to find yourself, see things that are part of gay culture, and then possibly find your tribe and or find your true self, because there are people, a lot of people who just didn't know at the time that until they met somebody who was a drag queen or was trans or was a butch femme or
Right.
A gay twink or
I will also say I think it's the first public act of coming out for many people. Like before you tell
Yeah.
anyone,
Yeah.
you find yourself in a gay place. It's your first time in public in a place where you're identifying as
and you don't see it
queer.
at that point in time as being this huge deal in your life, and that it's going to be that life changing, but like it can be.
It's freeing.
Because you're taking it. It sounds like walking on the moon. It's a huge step for you,
But one giant leap for mankind.
right? But again, it's like it sounds stupid, but like
Yeah.
you don't see it at the time that like that is such a huge step for someone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And they, like,
That's why they're out front stressing about it.
right. That's why they're out front stressing about it. That's why they're in the corner, drinking their drink by themselves because they don't know where to look. They don't know how to talk to anybody. They don't, like, even today, I'm sure there's still people who do that.
Well, and the beauty of our gay, like a queer space, is there's every walk of life. I think that's a phrase.
Right.
Like you look in there, you see everybody, and it doesn't like
all ages, shapes, sizes.
Right. Every single person, and it's. What I love most about it is there's, even though the community can be a little exclusive, there's this inclusivity of like, you can like almost like breathe, like release a breath and like just let the stress off,
And I feel like for those who came out like the 70s or 60s or even the 80s, because being gay was steeped in stereotypes for so long that people felt that they had to be one way or another and they just couldn't be somewhere in the middle. Like nowadays, people can do that. They can be a little bit femme, they can be a little bit butch, and it's just somewhere in the middle, and that's where you live.
Yeah.
But like for a long time, it was like people were one or the other.
Yeah.
That's just
you were either Jack or you were either Will.
Yeah, exactly. And and there was no in between, unfortunately. So like going into a gay bar for the first time and like being assaulted with like the bright lights and the dance music and people, in dresses that you were like, that's a man. Or like a guy in leather.
That's a man, Maury.
Or like a guy in leather. Like, what is it? Police Academy? They like the two, the captain and his assistant would always end up in the Blue Oyster Club. And it was like a leather bar, a male leather bar. And so it was always, that was a joke, even though it was offensive.
But the other thing about queer spaces was they still had all their problems. Like many of them were very segregated racially.
Yeah. Right.
Like a black person in the gay parts of San Francisco could not go into the same bars that a white person could.
Yeah.
And there really weren't a lot of safe spaces for them.
Yeah.
So even within what we think of as safe spaces, they weren't safe for everyone.
And I think you're right. There is still a lot of work, I think, to be done about inclusivity, because we have, as we grow in humankind or whatever, like more people have different identities, and I think we need to be able to be more open to embracing different identities.
Well, and I also think it's, they're queer spaces. I don't necessarily think they're safe spaces. Yeah. Because, with everything that's going on in the world, there is no real safe space.
Well, no, because after, what was it?
Pulse.
There was a shooting.
It was Pulse, and then there was one in Denver, and then...
right. And then there was also, the Pride... Wasn't there a shooting at a Pride parade?
No, someone drove a truck or a car.
Something, right? Well, and that's why, I feel like the hardest part is, in those instances, it's when you go, it's almost like you're a target.
Right. And, even Pride is a queer space. Yeah. But it's just, it's not technically a safe space because you're putting yourself out there. Yeah. So, you're always taking your... That's why when people are like, well, what about the straight parade? I'm like, you're not taking your life in your hands when you go.
Yeah, you won't be... You're not... No one's going to want to kill you.
Right. So, but then also, Pride has now become very commercial and capital. Uh-huh. So, is that technically a queer space anymore?
I think in the foundation, but not really.
So, I kind of think that before, because there was so much hostility and risk of going to a queer space, it was a fortress. It had to be strong walls that no one else could get into, metaphorically. Now, because being gay is more accepted, especially on the coasts, maybe not in Middle America, but even there, we've been to places in other cities where it's generally welcome. You don't feel awkward in most cities. You don't need that exclusivity anymore. Anybody could be welcome because they're not going to judge you. I think that's a good side of that. You know, that people know that that's a gay bar and they're still choosing to go there. And if they're not okay with it, they're the one that's wrong.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that where we're seeing things now, because I was also thinking about what is a safe or a queer space look like now. And I think with social media and online, a lot of those maybe physical places also exist online, like Reddit or something like that, or groups. Those are places that you could also go towards.
Well, and that's something that we were talking about when we were at Moe's last night. We were sitting there, we're look, people used to go to gay bars to meet people, to find someone to have sex with.
Often at that bar.
And to go home with them. Now, with, social media and apps and everything like that, you don't technically have to go to that bar to find...
You gotta leave your home, girl.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I was a Grindr gay. Like, I grew up on Grindr because that was all I knew, And
Grindr
that's great.
is a safe space. I mean, a queer space. It
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a safe space. A lot of... Now you're seeing... I saw some things about Russia where they pose as a date, and when the person shows up to their house, they arrest them or they torture them.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Can you imagine like that app being the way you find people that you want to...
And then you're actually being targeted.
Yeah.
But then I look at that, but Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, other people found young gay men by going to bars and meeting them up for sex. But we don't have to do that anymore. I feel like gay bars have gone back to, or have gone to being more of a social space where people just gather to kind of hang out and be together, and then they can go off and do their own thing. Because that's what we do with our friends. We go, we have a good time, we have our drinks, and we talk and stuff like that. But none of us are actively looking for somebody to go home with.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, we're you're married. I'm in a relationship.
But even the ones that aren't married are not technically there to look for somebody. They're just there to have fun and see their friends that walk by and see what's going on and stuff like that. So now it's become this hub of what's going on in the neighborhood, who's around, who's not.
But I will tell you, in the straight world, you don't have those hubs as readily. Unless you go to the same bar, neighborhood bar all the time.
Yeah, like a sports bar, maybe.
But when our kids left the nest to go to college, you didn't have their sports or their activities or classes that met you with other adult people.
Yeah.
And so I think the gay community is a little bit lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
People may have their church or may have a club that they're a member of, but beyond that, there's not a lot that helps you get out and feel like you've got a sense of community bigger than the people you see every day.
I also think it's because gay people create that community themselves because of what they went through.
Right.
Yes.
It's hard because they've lost people who don't want to be associated with them because
and they need to find
are.
people.
Right. That chosen family concept.
Again, your friends are your queer space as well because that's where you are yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we all met at the chorus.
Right. And that's another queer space.
I wouldn't this wouldn't happen. This podcast, this friendship, this wouldn't have existed if the San Diego Gay Men's, can't talk tonight. San Diego Gay Men's Chorus didn't exist, which is in and of itself a queer space.
Right, and it's it didn't start off like that.
Yeah,
it grew out of it.
It grew. Yeah. It became that.
Yeah,
which is great. And
I think it did start as a queer space. It
was
came
unofficial.
Out of tragedy. It came out of need.
It was one, and then there was another, which was just a men's chorus. It was necessarily gay, but they did have a gay chorus. But then they kind of merged the two together. So now it became.
But the original gay men's chorus came out of AIDS, singing at AIDS, memorials and things like that. So, but that got created because there was a need for people to have a place where they could feel these incredible losses together.
And. At this day and age, I'm wondering, can we get past bars and start going into other different, queer spaces? Whether that be because I used to love, and living in Orlando, there was this little area in Mills Avenue, and it had a bunch of little stores that were all gay owned, and one of them was a record store that I loved because it was one of the local DJs owned it, and I loved going.
It wasn't
there.
Tower Records.
No. But he had all the best stuff and all the great remixes, and I could go there and get all the stuff.
All the remixes stuff.
And it was all the stuff I could hear in the clubs. I'm like, yeah, let me buy these records. And then but there were also other stores like a bookstore. Yeah. But I wish that there was more of that kind of stuff. And there's a couple of coffee shops here. But
the restaurants too. I feel because what I was thinking of is Sister's Pizza.
Right.
Is she is a straight white woman, but is not an alibi.
An ally.
But to us.
And like when I lived in Orlando, I mean, yes, there was a Hamburger Mary's, but they weren't open all the time.
I love Hamburger
So
Mary's.
I do too, but like I wish that they were open more often. Whereas like I came here to San Diego, Moe's is open from like 10 a.m. until late at night, and I'm like, that's not something I'm used to. But it was like,
it's nice.
that's so cool.
And then you got like not Acid Betty's, Baja Betty's. Jesus, my brain isn't working tonight.
right, you got Baja
Betty's.
Betty's, you've got Gossip Grill,
Yeah.
and they identify it for certain things. Like Baja Betty's is one of like I think there's only like 20 specific lesbian
Oh, no,
bars.
you're talking about Gossip Girl.
Yeah, Gossip. Sorry, did I say something different?
Baja Betty's.
Oh.
I mean, Baja Betty's is a lesbian area too. It's fine.
Yeah, but like they got fish tacos.
They do.
But like Gossip Grill, I think is only like one of 20 lesbian bars left in the U.S.
In America?
In America,
I didn't know that.
there's not a lot of lesbian bars left in the U.S.
That's unfortunate.
But I'm like, I don't. Do they?
It's
drink?
self-sustaining though. Like if people aren't going to the bar,
Yeah.
they're not going to stay in business,
Right.
And so if the bars become less necessary, if that was their purpose, was a hookup place, and that's no longer necessary,
Yeah.
then they're not going to. I mean, a lot of bars have closed here in San Diego.
Yeah.
We're still lucky that we still have a depth of gay spaces,
Fiesta
scattered
Cantina.
throughout not just in one block either.
Yeah.
I know you're sad about Fiesta Cantina.
That trashy ass bar. But that, like, I felt was like, it was trashy because it wasn't flashy. You know what I mean? And I felt like it was a safe space because there wasn't judgment. And it was like, kind of like the has-nots.
Right.
Have-nots would go there. And it was like this tribe of like oddlings that had great music.
Well, and I felt like Moe's when I first went there. I'm like, this doesn't feel like a bar, because it feels like a restaurant, And so it fills this void of like being a bunch of different things in one. But like, I just felt more comfortable there because I'm like, I'm not huge in the bar, so it's just like, okay, this is actually not so bad. Like, I can come here, I can get a couple of drinks. If I want to stop, if I just want to like sit down and eat, then I'll just sit down and eat. Like,
and they used to do like line dancing, I think, during the week on like Tuesdays.
Oh, country night was
a long
big deal for
time
people.
ago. Yeah.
the Kickers. That's what they were called. They were called the Kickers of San Diego.
Oh my god. I feel like they should bring that back because that could be fun.
So there's a great documentary on PBS about the history of San Diego gay bars. It's
really?
Really good.
Huh.
And it probably is a very similar journey that many cities go through. So it's worth a watch.
Interesting.
But, whatever queer space you inhabit, it like any space you're going to be in is going to be a queer space because you're there.
We're at a gay space right now.
Yeah, we're a queer space and we welcome you and we love you.
But only
and
for 2 more weeks.
Then we're going to be in a new queer space.
Yes.
It's going to be a whole new acoustic.
Oh my god.
I know. Maybe we should do it from the club room with the new.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, we have so much to figure out. I love this journey for us.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great week.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to These Unprecedented Gays. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and join us next time as we continue exploring the ever-changing landscape of queer life. Until then, stay proud, stay fierce, and stay unprecedented.